In today's video, I came up with the bright idea of scanning all entities in the game. Surprisingly, this was a bit more challenging than I initially thought, so I want to rank every single mob based on difficulty. And just to clarify, not how difficult it is to deal with the mobs, but rather how much I struggled with specific mobs. So I decided on 4 rankings: easy, medium, hard, and insane. I did look up spawn rates for every mob to make this challenge a bit easier. This attempt wasn't my first one, so I did have some experience on how to approach certain mobs. But without any further ado, let's show you how I did it. The first mob I encountered was the manticore, or as I sometimes call it, the fleshy bird. I don't know why bro was stuck mid-air, but you know, that made it just easier for me. These guys do belong in the easy category though. After the manticore, I saw my good friend the Blobby, or as the game calls it, the Hygrodeer. I like these goofy guys and I don't think I ever died to one. This one also definitely goes in the easy category. Just after I saw Blobby, the fan favorite Yippee showed up, and you know he a real one by just letting me scan him so easily. Easily, just like the easy category where he belongs. And we finish up at Assurance by just staying till the ship has to leave for itself and the outside mobs spawn. The annoying eyeless dogs started spawning, so I just slowly went up to one and scan them. I must say, I think scanning these guys are pretty easy, so they go in the easy category. On the second day, I went back to Assurance and managed to get the entry of the Snarefle, which, fun fact, doesn't kill you if you play solo. It drops on your head, brings you to critical health, and then it just leaves. And the Snarefle is another easy one, so we'll have to put it in the easy tier. After the Snarefle, my favorite mob, Leech Dog, or officially known Spore Lizard, showed up. He's always chill with it, and the walking sound it makes is just super cute. Anyway, easy one again, so in the easy category he goes. So I had the smart idea of going to my least favorite map, VOW, just because VOW has the tendency to spawn like a million mobs. And guess what? I was correct when I said a million mobs. I started off by scanning the Tulip Snake, which I think belongs in the easy category. These guys are pretty goofy, I must admit. And with the Tulip Snake still attached to my head, I went up to the Circuit Beast and scanned them. A simple and pretty easy one, so once again, in the easy category they go. For another easy tier one, we got the Roaming Locusts. And you know, these guys are probably below easy, but you know, I digress. Now, the first mob I had some trouble with was the Bracken. Basically, I had to wait for him to sneak up on me and made sure he was close enough to where I could scan him. Because he was a little trickier, I decided on a solid medium tier. And for the last one on VOW, I got the Baboon Hawks, and I'ma be honest, I don't know how they work now after the update, but they're a bit more annoying, so I'll put them in the medium tier. Next up is Embrion for a 100% chance to scan the old bird. And when not active, these guys are easy to scan. I do still despise these guys though, but I'll have to put them in the easy tier. I decided on going to offense to get 2 of the more annoying mobs in my opinion. First up was the Coilhead, and luckily I was close to the main entrance, so scanning him was not all that difficult, but I'll still put them in the medium tier. I realized I forgot to get the Forest Keeper or Forest Giant, however you want to call him. So I was debating on either going to VOW or March, and decided on March eventually. I just stayed in the ship and waited for him to spawn, but if you're outside, these guys are pretty annoying. Still, I'd have to put him in a solid medium tier. Now, for the first one in the insane tier is the Thumper, and fun fact, these guys are my least favorite mobs. I almost got killed scanning them, but luckily I survived and managed to get the entry. However, I'll have to put them in the insane tier like I just said, because they're super annoying. I had a lot of trouble with the Earth Leviathan because those guys are quite difficult to scan. So I had the bright idea of going to experimentation just because it was Eclipse, and they have the highest spawn rate on experimentation. I somehow managed to scan the worm, but I have to put him in the hard tier just because it took me quite some time and a few attempts. I purposely went to Rent to try and get the Nutcrackers, and I was lucky because one showed up almost instantly. And I just simply waited in the corner for bro to pass, and I just scanned them. Even though it seemed easy, one wrong move and I'd be dead, so I'd put them in the medium tier. Now for 2 mobs I surprisingly struggled the most with are the Butler and its Hornets. I went to Dine multiple times where they are the most common, but I had no luck whatsoever. This made me put them in the hard tier after I finally scanned them both. And now for the last two mobs, which almost made me pull out my hair, the Bunker Spider and the Jester. Even with me going to the maps where they spawned the most, I had zero luck and the quota went up to 1300. Somehow I scanned a camping spider that was holding a door and I just managed to survive, so I'll put them in the insane tier. And last but not least is the Jester, and this one scared the crap out of me, but I did scan little bro quite easily. Even though he was one of the easier ones, I almost lost the challenge just because he didn't show up. So L Jester, and in the insane tier you go. And that's how I did it. This was one of the more difficult challenges just because RNG played a big role. I hope you still enjoyed the video and I'll see you guys pretty soon. Peace.